Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.
Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, and we're back. I think we've been pretty good at doing this weekly the last few weeks.
Yeah, we're keeping it live.
I'm
All
Ian,
live.
and I got Jarrod and Quentin with me.
Hey,
Woohoo, again. Please do me a favor and check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. You can find us also, our podcast is available on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube. If you want to go to youtube.com/milkmanpictures, you can see the video version where we look goofy while we talk. If you listen to the podcast and you don't want to know what we look like, just continue. But if you want to see what we look like in video and like ruin your idea, your imagination of what you have in your head, go to youtube.com/milkmanpictures.
see how right your imagination
Yeah, how
is.
right your imagination is.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So I posted in the Discord. I think Jarrod might have noticed it, but so our old podcast host finally announced that they're shutting down at the end of December. So like 2-3 months ago, Jarrod, I was like, I feel like I was having issues with something. I can't remember what it was, and I was just like, it's about when we started the beer podcast. Maybe it was further back then, but I was like, I'm gonna like put the beer podcast on a new platform, Anchor.fm, and see how it goes. And if it goes well, I'm going to push the other one over, because I have a feeling that Shout Engine is going away because they are not responsive. They don't. You have problems logging in, and then yesterday I got the news that closing down, and I was like, thank God I did that already. I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah. Then didn't have to wait for the mass exodus for all the other.
Oh,
people
not only
to
that,
bail off
dude,
of it.
but like
Yeah.
I jumped on just to download some of the old Milkman and Reverend podcast episodes, and it is such a nightmare. That the website is just like sometimes works. I can only imagine that moving a podcast over to another platform right now is a pain in the ass. Like, I'm so glad I moved some 230 some episodes way back when I did, because I bet it would just be nothing but fail right now. So sorry I don't know if someone still goes to. I don't think anyone should be going to the Shout Engine anymore, because we're not uploading episodes to that. So it'd be weird if someone's still listening to us there. But if you are somehow, there's no way you would not hear this episode on that platform. So it's pointless to me even say, hey, move platforms, because anyone that's listening to this.
Imagine anybody found us through Shout Engine specifically.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be too concerned about that.
Well, I think I used to share it back in the day on Facebook because it was just easier.
Yeah.
And then they could choose their platform to find us on. But anyway, so that's happened, and that's funny. Anyway, so we're going to talk about some games. And I think we have, unlike the last couple episodes where it's been old fucking games, we actually have new games to talk about.
Yeah, holy cow. What did we do?
Well, you know what, though? We've actually got a lot of traction on that last episode. Did really well. I don't know. It's funny when I put a title that's like video game potpourri or shooting the shit, it doesn't really go anywhere. But when I Metal Gear Survive, like for some reason people, maybe because of Metal Gear, they search it and they find it more. I don't know, or they're more interested.
Probably Metal Gear, because I don't think many people are playing Metal Gear Survive.
Well, they should be.
Because before we recorded, I actually tried doing an online match, and matchmaking couldn't find anybody.
Oh.
Oof.
Nobody. Not even in the middle of a match that could be joined. It's just, it's dead.
It's too bad because it's such a good game.
I would say that like Survive is probably the only game in the series besides like the Acid games and some of the like obscure games before Solid that are the only Metal Gear games that people don't really know about. So I think that might have gotten a little more traction because.
And I said we weren't going to talk about this game, and we already are.
Hey, it's a game we're playing. It's all right.
True.
Yeah, it is true. That's true.
Maybe we'll talk.
And you got to tell me about the cool thing that you saw.
Maybe we'll talk about a little bit about it later in the game. But
I was looking for that, so you can talk to me about it later.
Oh no, I'll tell you. Well, it's a story progression thing, so.
Oh, okay.
I don't really want to spoil it for you, Jarrod.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But we'll talk about that later. But this is a big episode, kinda, because this is gonna be the Halo Infinite episode, because I am going to talk about, without spoiling. I won't spoil Halo Infinite. Okay, we're just gonna start. We're just gonna go for it right now. I'm not gonna spoil Halo Infinite because the story I think is trash, and there's nothing for me to spoil there. It's just like, whatever. The story is whatever the story is, and if you're a big Halo fan, maybe you'll dig it. But for me, it's like a story out of the PS2 era or OG Xbox. It's just so. You know how a lot of games we've grown up with games like God of War. The storytelling has grown. That has not happened with Halo. So I'll try not to shit on the game beyond that. Because I do think the game's really good. I think the mechanics are a lot of fun. I think it's super fun. I think the open world is actually super cool and fun to play, fun to play around in. I think what makes it super fun is the grapple hook. I think that traversal and being able to move around really quickly and in fights and in different situations, that grapple hook is super fun, and it looks really pretty. I mean, my computer isn't the greatest computer, but it still looks really solid. I mean, there's some moments that are like, oh, that's really pretty. Obviously, the music's really good. It's just I'm not a huge Halo fan. Jarrod can attest. It's not something.
That is very true.
It's not something I really care about. So I came away ultimately from this game very positive. I do have a lot of gripes, but I just want everyone to know. I know I come across as a PlayStation fanboy most of the time. I do like the game. I do like it. I enjoyed it. Have my fun with it. My gripes, obviously, with the story. I'm not going to go into that though. No spoilers. I do think, and I agree with I listened to the Skill Up review. I agree with that review. While the open world is cool, I feel like it's just kind of open world. There's no real variance in it. It's just kind of the same. There's a lot of cool verticality, but it doesn't change much. And then the interior design of the Forerunner stuff, it gets so boring. And towards the end of the game, I just felt like I was in a corridor, hallway, the entire game. And I was just like, can it be different? Can any somehow be different? Could it be Hell version, or could it be? It's just like the same silver chrome hallway over and over and over, and it just got monotonous. And I'm just like, I enjoy playing. I enjoy how I enjoy the weapons, and I think that's one of the cool things that Halo does is like with the weapons, because of the ammo situation, you're constantly cycling through different weapons and grabbing different weapons. And that's the cool thing about the grapple hook is you can grab weapons from a distance and pull it to you. So if you need a weapon, it can come to you. And it's just like it's so I feel like you're always just going through a million different weapons, which I thought is super cool and a very inventive way to because you rely on a couple weapons, your favorites. Maybe you'll choose at the beginning of a level, but at the end of it, you'll come out with like totally two different weapons you're carrying, So I think it's really smart in that design aspect. So it's really fun. It makes fights really fun. The enemies still seem about the same from most Halo games, the same kind of designs. They still kind of act the same. I didn't play it on super hard or heroic, just normal. What else? I don't know. Do you have any questions?
Did you play any multiplayer?
I didn't play any. So multiplayer has been super positive. I didn't play any multiplayer. That's not my thing. Halo multiplayer has never been my thing. Jarrod and Dave would always mop the floor with us when we play on game nights. So it's not something I want to do with random players. So I just avoided that. Though I hear it's super popular, but that's free to play now. So like you don't even need the game for that. you know. So, you know, you can download that, play that. I feel like I'm gonna review the campaign separate from that.
Based on the Metacritic user score of 8.4, would you say a lot of people just reviewed that based on multiplayer, or would you say it's a good blend and 8.4 is a solid score?
I think
for
8.4
Halo
is a fair. I'd probably give it between an 8 and a 7.5.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I mean, as a more of a harsh critic of the game, I think that's, you know, from the people that are going to play this and enjoy it, I think that's a completely fair review score.
Well, and yeah, I think you giving it a 7.5 to an 8 is good for as little as you like the series as a whole. So I mean that's saying it's a top-notch Halo game for you.
I mean, the Warthog driving still fucking sucks. I fucking hate driving. I mean, I love shooting the tank. I hate fucking driving the tank. It's so obnoxious.
But you've played Borderlands so much, and it's so similar.
I know it's so similar, but I feel like it's even worse. I don't know.
The truck does jump and bounce around.
Oh, it bounces crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, I do like some.
It's
you know, I was talking a little bit to Quentin about this before we recorded. My problem with Halo, and it's always been with Halo, is like Halo has so many elements of other games, and I feel like it's trying so hard to be the greatest first-person shooter that it comes across as just kind of a very empty or generic first-person shooter. Like, even like just the menu system, it's just very simple and like no thought is put into it, and it's kind of funny. It's like I don't know. This is how I feel. It doesn't really have any style to it. Master Chief kind of is just monotone, no character, and the you know, it just, you look at like Halo, the Bungie Halo, and then what they ultimately evolved into was Destiny, and that game has so much character and design and creativity, whereas 343 Studios was designed to keep Halo keep going, but like, I don't know if that was a good idea, because, you know, you need that evolution of your game, and you just don't really see it in Halo. You just don't really see a real creative evolution. You just kind of have the same kind of game, kind of plain game, and it's kind of sad. I mean, and that's kind of speaks to the story part, where I don't think the story's really been able to grow because it's just kind of stuck in this old 90s first-person shooter area. But I still think it's a solid, I mean, gameplay-wise, it's super fun to play. I imagine those mechanics hold up in multiplayer, and I'm going to promote Game Pass again. Literally, I mean, it's the best deal. If you have a PC or an Xbox Series X or whatever, get your Game Pass. It's $1 for 3 months. I mean, this month I beat Forza and Halo Infinite, the two like flagship Microsoft Studios games, for $1. I mean, that is awesome. So that's all I'm going to talk about. Unless you guys have questions you want me to answer about the game, go ahead.
I was having some questions because I've never really played a Halo game in my life, right? But you mentioned that the game has open world segments and that it's not as varied. Would you say it's closer to like a Far Cry game, or like what is something closest in terms of like how its design space is in terms of what it does with its open world compared to other games in the genre?
The open world is, I mean, it's not as huge and big as like Far Cry. It's actually kind of surprisingly small open world area, and you'll have a few missions that you kind of, you know, you capture the base type things like Far Cry, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then once you capture them, they're your fast travel points. But missions are generally, you go to that, let's say, one of those bases, and then you go into a Forerunner fort, and then it becomes no longer open world level. It's a level inside of a thing. So like, you'll kind of do an open world segment to get to a point, and then the rest of the level, that level is just corridor, open area, corridor. And so I wish more of the story took place, or game took place, in the open world. That would have been cool. But
maybe a little more organically.
Yeah. But it has the standard open world stuff: capture the base or fight. They have like a fight of boss kind of thing, and they have just random guys walking around that'll fight you and collect the collectible things and.
Sounds very Borderlands.
Yeah, it's very it's very normal.
It's modern. It's not really Borderlands. It's modern.
It doesn't load into areas like Borderlands does. It's it's open world until you go into a Forerunner area, and even that is kind of open the door so it kind of loads for a second. But then once you go in, it's not like a loading screen, so everything's pretty.
Okay.
I mean, it's loading obviously. It's obviously loading when you're like hitting the button and the little thing happens when you're doing that, but
so is there more than one place? Are you on like one Halo world or whatever?
Yeah, it's just the Halo. It's actually called the Halo Infinite. That Halo is called Halo Infinite, I think, is what it's called.
Oh, okay.
And then it's just the whole story takes place on that one, and
okay.
While the open world is kind of fun like that and to go around and has like great verticality and design in its aspect, it's really just one biome. It's just standard.
It's like a hub world?
No, it's just you load into that world.
But can you actually go all the way around the Halo and meet back at the starting point?
It's just one. No,
because that would be big. Because those things are huge.
But I was hoping that there would be some variance. I don't know how much of like the trailers or stuff you see like you have seen or not, but like I think it's in the trailer. But like this Halo was like broken attacked and broken in one piece, and it would have been nice to have part of the open world there. But it isn't. It seems like a lost opportunity. So like it could have been the together part, and you could have had like towards the end the little destructed part. I don't know.
Well, each destroyed piece could be another section of DLC.
Well, it could be.
You
Who
never
knows?
know where they're gonna go with
Who
that.
knows?
I don't know.
I mean, the story is so like they could do anything. It's just anyway.
So, with most games on Xbox Game Pass, I would love to know the balance between people just playing on a Game Pass versus people actually just buying the game.
Yeah.
Really curious about that.
That'd be a really interesting stat.
I don't know if they'll ever release those numbers during at least this generation.
Have they released the subscriber numbers at least?
I don't know.
Because I can put it in their ballpark.
I know. I mean, like once a year, I know Sony releases their subscriber numbers. I imagine that Microsoft releases theirs once a year too. But
yeah, but that's some interesting things to look up someday. Yeah.
But I'm pretty positive on it, and I'm even more positive on it that I only had to pay $1 for it. So I strongly recommend that that's what you do if you're unsure. Fucking do that. Plus, you get all these other games on Game Pass, so it's totally fucking worth it. So
library of like 900 something games.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
The other one thing I will say about the open world, while I do like it, it doesn't feel as lively. It does have like animals kind of here and there, but it doesn't really feel like it still needs. They need to evolve themselves a bit, It doesn't feel lived in like a lot of the more current ones do. So it does lack that a little bit. But anyway, I think that's all I really have to say about it. I recommend it. So, surprise, I don't hate it. It's probably my favorite. It's probably my favorite Halo game. And someday in like what? March or something, you'll be able to play through the story mode in co-op.
So. Yeah, they haven't unlocked that yet.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I've never played through a Halo game co-op. I did ODST a little bit co-op. I think I had a whole squad to play with on ODST, but that you're not using like the real Spartans and stuff like that in anything. It's just like some of the foot soldier kind of things.
I think I played Halo 2 a little bit at Dave's in co-op. One time.
I never played Halo 2. I played 1 until the Xbox crashed and I didn't save my game, so I just never played that one. So I beat 3 and Reach I really liked, and that's about it.
1 is the worst. No, 1. I was okay with 1 until that fucking ending with the goddamn warthog, and I'm just like, what the? Why is this the fucking end of the game? Anyway.
The same with Halo 3, dude.
I didn't get to Halo 3. I was
Halo
gonna try
the driving at the end too.
It just anyway. Yeah. So We should move on. What, Jarrod? We should move on to Jarrod.
You don't want to talk about a mobile game, guys?
Well, we could, but I've been
I
talking a
know
lot.
Oh,
I've been
we
talking
a
a lot.
mobile game to play with you guys someday.
Okay, we can talk about it, but I've already been talking forever, and that means I have to talk
Oh,
more.
okay,
So let
okay.
Jarrod talk for a
What
minute.
mobile game is it? What mobile game?
No, we know which one it is.
Yeah.
Jarrod, talk about Riders Republic because I am super curious. What made you pick up this game?
Well, what was first off, one of my coworkers actually is playing it now, so I added him because it's crossplay. I added him through the Ubisoft Connect. We still have yet to connect with each other to play because I have kids. And I'm pretty busy this weekend, but that'll be fun. And I've been curious about the game. Because I skipped out on Steep, which is the one that came out before this. I played a little bit of the beta, and I thought it was pretty cool, but I don't know. It's like
It was lacking MTV Extreme Sports.
I don't know.
No
but
SSX.
I think really the bicycles, like mountain biking and the downhill rush kind of stuff like that, really got me on it. But it also has like skiing, snowboarding, rocket wings, and gliding suits, and all kinds of crazy different things to ride along with because they just wanted to keep the variety alive, and it's really, really varied. And if I remember right, in Steep, you just kind of like looked around the map and then you selected where you wanted to go and you'd go there, right? Could you explore the whole map in that?
Mm-hmm. So in Steep, you had that massive mountain, and then it was skiing, snowboarding, wingsuits, and parachuting. And then I feel like in Riders Republic, they added the bicycles, which was big because for some reason between Steep and now, there was all these downhill bicycle games became really popular. You notice that? There's like all these downhill bicycle.
I never played any of them because I don't buy like sporty type games very often, and like Tony Hawk kind of stuff. And I'd never played any of like the Dave Mirra BMX bike games and any of that kind of stuff. But I don't know, this one just really interested me. Like it has these huge matches that you jump in. There's like 50 dudes that you're racing against, and
that's new.
I don't know. That just seemed
so Steep only had
really
like
cool.
12 or something, but like Riders Republic has a shit ton of people that you can play. Yeah, it's massive online races.
Yeah, but like so far, I haven't really progressed a lot because I'm just enjoying exploring the map with my like rocket wings and my snowmobile. And what I don't remember what it's called, but I have like a parachute with a fan on my back, so I just kind of cruise around, and it's nice because it has a lot of viewpoints that you can go. It takes place in like the Colorado River. There's the Yosemite National Forest. You're in the kind of that area of the world. Of course, it's highly varied ecosystem. So, like, the lower terrains are all about just cruising around on your bikes. And eventually, I think there's, like, rocket cars and stuff like that you can unlock for just traversing the areas that you want to explore. And it's really neat. When you go to one of the viewpoints, that's what I'm enjoying most about is going to the viewpoints. And I actually tell you facts about that specific place because they're all real. Mm-hmm. And I really like that. So far, I haven't paid much attention to the music. I know the soundtrack in this type of game is really big, but I haven't had much of a chance to actually play it with my headphones on and crank stuff up. Because it's a game I can play around my kids too, so that's another reason I kind of got it. It's like, I can play this, and I decided to buy it digitally. I was gonna buy a disc because Target had a big sale. It's only like $40 right now, and they were doing like a big sale where you got a gift card and all this stuff. But PlayStation Network had it for like $35, and that's the PS5 and PS4 edition. So I downloaded it out here in my garage too, so I can play it. If my daughter ever gets interested in it or whatever, I can play
together
with her.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, so I mean, I have 2 copies of it, essentially just by buying the digital copy. Where I mean that's one of the benefits. If you're in a family and you have several PlayStations, you only have to buy one digital copy of a game. That's pretty nice. But I haven't seen like if you do have a group, I think I'm assuming you can have like 4 people. I haven't played with a group yet, but every event can be played with your group, which is cool instead of just like 1 or 2 people.
I think
So
that was like that for Steep too. None of you guys play that with me, so.
yeah.
I've only played the demo for Steep, so I'm like very.
Yeah, I
interested
played
in
some of the
all
demo of Steep, and yeah, I mean it was fine, but it was all snow all over. But
It was all
the
snow.
yeah, and this I love the variety, and the environments look wonderful. The graphics and sounds are really fun. It's kind of fun because you're like cruising around, you hear people biffing it and laughing and cheering and all that stuff when they do a successful
Sounds like
tricks or
Forza
crash or
Horizon, dude.
all kinds of stuff, and it's kind of fun listening to people's just bone crunching wrecks.
Well, they
You
did
can
that. They
see
did
'em.
that. They still did that in Steep. When you would do the
Yeah.
wingsuit and you'd fly into the shit, it would do. It
Yeah.
would do that fun stuff. But
And I didn't play much Steep other than the beta, but like if you get in an inconspicuous place, you can rewind
Mhm.
to a certain point and resume. But of
just
course,
like
since you're-
Horizon.
Yeah, and since you're racing against, sometimes online people, when you rewind, it does not reset everybody else. It
Oh,
just
right,
resets
right,
you.
right. So
So
you get
it
screwed.
doesn't benefit you, but it gets you back on the road.
Correct.
So that's one of the hardest parts. And some of the races are very dependent on checkpoints. So if you miss a checkpoint, it will either tell you to turn around, or it'll have a timer and just put you in front of that checkpoint.
And some of the
set you
checkpointing
back.
is so obnoxious.
Yeah,
I
so-
played it. I played the beta, so I did play a bit of it. And
Yeah.
some of the bicycle checkpointing I found obnoxious, but
Yeah. Some of the checkpointing is really hard. Like on the rocket wing things, like I don't know. It's fun when you can really just ram on the speed booster, but sometimes they're really close together, and you really have to worry about your cornering and stuff like that. I'd never actually played a game with a wingsuit because I didn't play the Steep edition of the wingsuit, but like getting used to like you falling down and then backing off because you have to get more momentum. That takes a while to get used to, but I mean everything just seems to work really good. I mean I'm having a lot of fun, like
it's a
going
good looking
downhill on
game
the
too.
bike. I'm so
Yeah.
rusty on trick and freestyle type games. Doing tricks, I just biff it almost every time because I try to put it on manual because there's an automatic mode where you do a flip and it'll land perfectly every time if you got enough height.
Right.
But I want it manual because the automatic one does not get you any points. For obvious reasons, because you're not showing
doing
any
it.
of your own talent. So yeah, I mean it's really cool, and I'm assuming Steep did the same thing. But when you zoom out on the map, you see just hundreds, maybe even thousands of little white icons. There's so many damn people playing this game. Like everywhere you go, there's people everywhere. It's nuts. So many people are playing this game, and it's really cool. I think
Especially right now since it's new. I mean,
Well,
towards the end, I was
not-
still playing Steep towards the end, and it would start falling off. But
Well, yeah, not even that, but it's crossplay. So you're playing with PC people, PS4 people, all the Xboxes, all that stuff. It's crossplay, and there is like everybody on this damn server. I don't know how many servers they have for any given game mode, or like when you're on there if they have a bunch of different ones. But geez, man, there's so much going on.
The cool thing
It's
about that is
wild.
that you'll watch someone, or you will biff, and then someone will come by and see you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
biffing.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
there's
just like-
nobody ever misses a thing because you're always next to somebody. It's crazy. Like you'll look up and there's people like way up in the sky, and you're like, I wonder if these people are in a race because there's like a whole line of them. You're like, what? Is this just a high flying race, or is that just a bunch of dudes hanging out? You just don't know. Yeah, so it's really cool. It's a lot of fun, and I think you'd also like it, Ian.
No, I would
you're
totally
into this
dig
type of
it.
game,
I
of
think
course,
I think I just chose like this time around to just wait it out until it
Yeah.
got cheaper. I mean, I bought Steep at launch
yeah,
because I was a big fan of it, and I enjoyed it. I beat that game. It's less, extreme gamey. It still has a bit of that, but I like the kind of chill. Go to the very top of the mountain, just put on some tunes and just snowboard all the way down it, and not even have to like compete, but just snowboard and do tricks to get like skill points and stuff. I dug just doing that kind of shit, And just because it's chill and awesome. And you can do that. I've been told you can do that in Riders Republic. You just have to like turn down all the craziness but
Yeah, you can adjust some settings. I mean, there's actual like yield signs pretty much where you can go and it's special trick events and things like that. And I mean, you can just
I honestly didn't think you were going to get it. So like, I mean, I might actually consider getting it now. I mean, I just like, I don't really need another sports game right now. You know,
Yeah, well, I think the last sports game, I guess if you want to call it sports, was Mario Kart. You know, I'm not like, I'm not heavy on sports games. But this one just had a lot of appeal, even from the initial trailers. I'm not a huge fan of the box art. I think the box art's kind of dumb with the dude with the smoke on the mask. And
I think it's dumb. We're like, oh, let's go to the RV, the barbecue guy. He's the lead. Yeah. He's a badass old extreme dude. He'll set you up. And he's like, yeah, kid, you got the thing. You think you got it? You think you got that thing? It's just like, dude, get me out of here. Get me out of here. I don't want to do this.
It really does make it there at the start of the game because it's not until like level 11 where you unlock kind of like free play kind of stuff.
Leave me alone.
It doesn't take very long to get there, thankfully.
It seems like Riders Republic and Steep had two different tones in terms of
totally
they were trying to appeal to.
Yes,
and the type of game I would want to play more Steep because it's very chill. And maybe it's just me. I just really like mountainous like snow biomes a lot, so I'm okay with just spending an entire area with just sports about snow.
I mean, the box art really I mean, the front and center is the bicycle. I think the bicycle was a big deal. I think they really wanted to get that downhill racing thing going.
I have fun with it. Yeah, I like it.
It is fun. No, I mean, I had a lot of fun racing that in the beta. Like great courses, and it felt really good. It's not something I always thought I'd like. I really like. I love snowboarding games, so that's why Steep was such a big deal to me. This is like snowboarding's taking the back seat, kind of in a little bit of a way, I think. So it's just kind of like, I'll get it if it goes down in price enough. But now that Jarrod's got it, maybe I'll pick it up sooner.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's $35, and that's a banging deal for that. It's really good.
Yeah, but I want to get that. I want to get that like that Battle Chasers RPG. Not Battle Chasers, but the team.
Ruined King.
Yeah, that. I want to get that, and that's $30.
Yeah,
So.
Totally.
That's my next.
I feel this one's gonna stay on my PlayStation a while. I'll pop in quite often.
Cool.
I mean, like, Destiny 2, I pop in when there's new story stuff, but like, for the last couple months there hasn't been, so I haven't maybe jump on to play with my brother. But this is just kind of like a fun dick around game, and you can progress the story and stuff like that, which I will, because I mean that's how you unlock stuff, of course. That's how you get the different events and all that. So I mean, I'll progress it slowly. I'm not in a big rush to beat the game, because I don't know, that's not really why I bought the game, is to beat like a story or anything like that. That's not the high point of the game.
My thing with Steep was never to beat it, was just to get the cool gear to make my snowboarder look badass.
Yeah. Yeah, so far I don't have any gear, and of course, like most games nowadays, it's like, here's a currency you earn in the game, but you can only buy this stuff with a currency that you buy. That kind of garbage. So that's annoying. But
one thing I don't know about Riders Republic, and I don't know if they do it with that, but in Steep they pushed trying to create like little videos to post. Do they have anything? Do they try and push anything like that in Riders Republic, or did Ubisoft abandon that?
Well, you can post pictures. They don't have videos, but you can do like photo competitions, I think. I haven't really dove into that, but there's custom matches. I think somebody, like, I did one the other day. It's like, oh, beat this guy's score down this ramp or whatever. And I did like one trick and beat it. So like, I don't know. I think that could be fun, because you can actually create little challenges for the community.
Cool.
Would you say that those challenges are similar to like the Need for Speed? So sort of like you do this thing and you compete with other people, like who can get the biggest drift sort of thing?
Yeah, I would say it's kind of like playing horse, I guess, with the community. Like, see if you can one up this. But it's not like you don't have to do the identical trick. It's just who can get the higher score.
Now, is it exactly? I forget. Do you get points for everything like Horizon, or is it like you have to do tricks? I don't know, like if you run into a tree, I don't think if you fuck up, like, no, Horizon rewards you for fucking up.
No, and it doesn't blow smoke up your ass when you lose. You know, it's like, hey, you can do better next time. You know,
All right.
you got.
I forgot if it did that kind of shit.
Yeah, there is no smoke.
Horizon,
up your
you
ass,
crash into a house and you get a demolish of like 1,000 points. It's like, oh, good job. It's like, okay,
like,
what?
hey, you played the game, kinda.
Good job. Keep going.
Whoops! Did your controller die?
Yes, it's funny.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's pretty great. I really do want to play those games. Like, that's one sports game I've always wanted to be a part of, but I haven't bought an Xbox in a long time, and I'm right there. I was interested in buying PSVR 2, but now I'm like, maybe I should just get like a Xbox Series S or something, and because it'll probably be cheaper than the PlayStation VR 2.
Oh, probably.
So I'm like, I could play all these games with is it $300 system? Something like $400 probably.
Yeah.
The Series X or Series S?
Series
The
X.
new one, or
It's
the
$299. I think it's $299.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, and I mean, it's not like super powered or anything like that, but that's fine.
I mean, I've thought about getting one, but my computer works fine, so I don't.
Yeah, my computer, I'd have to buy like a whole new computer pretty much, and that'd cost more than like 2 Xboxes. So I'm good.
Well, that's Riders Republic. Jarrod's
Yeah, so far I'm digging
playing
it. I
something
bought it
new.
earlier this
I was
weekend,
just
yeah.
like, kind of like, Jarrod, what the fuck is Jarrod playing? It's like, I was just like, that's not a Jarrod game.
I was surprised to see you play a sports game out of everything.
Yeah, I mean, I like racing. I do. I mean, Ian's had me race.
Yeah,
or
he's
play
gotten
racing
Gran
games and-
Turismo and stuff before, but like I've just never seen him really like get like a bike.
Yeah, it's
Extreme
not a
sports
huge thing.
game.
Like, I mean, my favorite sports racing game of all time is Burnout Paradise, and this is like that with wings.
Yeah. Cool.
Without cars.
Yeah.
Well, the other brand new game that has cars,
Oh yeah.
and I haven't
Hey!
played. I haven't played as much, so I'm gonna let Quentin take it away because he's at fucking
Okay.
silver
I'm
tier.
Silver 1.
He's
yeah,
he's put so much time into this. So what is the game, Quentin?
It is. Let me get the actual name. It's Rocket League Sideswipe, and this is a mobile game that was released by Psyonix. I think after the Game Awards, which this week.
No, I think it
came
was
out
released before
beforehand.
that.
Was it released before?
I was like so bored I downloaded it during the Game Awards.
I learned about it due to that like 5-second trailer that they had in it, and then I saw you playing it, and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna play it. I have a hankering for like Rocket League while I'm like walking around or like sitting on the couch or something. And
Yeah, the couch. Yeah.
it's oh my god, they need a 3-on-3 mode.
That would be crazy.
But I don't know. Like, I haven't played a lot of the original Rocket League. I've only played about 5-7 hours of that game. But like, already I like Sideswipe a whole lot better because it's just like this arcadey style. It's Rocket League, but a little more arcadey, and with one small switch to the rules that I really like because it's not only 2D, but instead of having to grab boosts, your boost automatically recovers if you are sitting on a surface. This includes the ceiling, and this includes the walls and the floor.
Huh.
And
It's really smart.
Yeah, I wish that the original Rocket League actually had a mode where it was just refilling boosts as long as you were on the ground.
Oh, I mean,
or
they
on
should
the
put
wall.
this mode in the actual main version of the game and
Yeah.
allow people to play this because I think
Oh,
people
yeah.
would. I think people would play this on console. Seriously.
Oh, yeah, no, I would play this on console. I like it better. The physics are just the same.
About the same?
Exactly like you remember. But, and the controls are super well done. Like, you can see at whatever moment where your car is tilted, where you're going, and what direction and force you're going to push your car in.
So I have a question real quick. You said it really needs a 3v3 mode. Is it 2 versus 2?
You can
Or-
do one
there-
1v1
there
or
are-
2v2.
There are 3 modes currently. There is 1v1 standard. There is 2v2 standard. These are and everything's ranked. And then you have 2v2 hoops,
The basketball version.
which is basketball hoops. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it needs
And
3v3. I think that would be madness.
It's a pretty small screen with a lot happening.
3v3 would be madness, and I love madness.
I mean,
think that
maybe
would
it's
be
worth
so
it just for
fun.
maybe if it was an unranked mode, like 4v4
Yeah.
is unranked in just because it'd be crazy, but
Yeah. Just call it
it is
mayhem.
really surprising how well the touch controls work. Even though you can like sync a controller to it if you want to do that, but it is surprising that how well it all works.
Yeah, I've been
I don't think you
playing
need
with
to.
just my
Yeah.
thumbs, and I went from bronze 1 to silver 1 in 3 hours. It did not take that long, actually. And the ranking system is really intuitive. It's just win 4 games, get to the next rank.
And then it doesn't really and unlike the real game, it doesn't penalize you. Everyone just keeps getting their XP. So like even if you were like to forfeit a game and leave, everyone would still get their XP or whatever. And like Quentin and I were playing. Quentin gets his XP. I get my XP. You know, and I'm lower tier. So it's way more simpler. Also, the cool thing. This is the first season. The season pass is free for this first season. So the next season, obviously, you'll probably have to pay money for it if you want it, but not the game, but the season pass stuff, because it is a free-to-play game. So
according to Metacritic, this is 1 point higher than their highest review of Rocket League on all the other consoles. It's 88 on Metacritic versus 86 on Switch, 87 on
That's
Xbox
funny.
One,
yeah, it should go on to Switch, man. It should be on Switch.
and 85 on PS4.
I honestly think this is kind of better just with that one little rules change.
I mean, I don't think they're two different games.
They are two different
We
games.
should. It's not. We can't. I don't think you can really compare it. I mean, I really like OG. There is a little bit of a skill ceiling on Sideswipe, but there's a huge skill, ceiling on Rocket League, and I think that's what kind of makes that game fun. But I do think this iteration of the game is super fun and super quick too. I mean,
2-minute matches.
Yeah, you're in and out.
In and out. You can play 10 matches in 10. You can play 5 matches in 10 minutes. It's that quick. And one of my other favorite features of the game is if during the first 30 seconds, if you score 3 goals without the opponent scoring any, automatic win.
Huh. No kidding.
So it doesn't waste your time.
It does not waste your time. If you are just better than them, you get the win.
Of course, that's kind of sad, but
yeah, I mean with such short matches, I mean that's just time saving, and I mean it's a mobile game. Yeah, people do it real quick, and they're like in and out.
But it has the same cars, the same aesthetic. It has the same little toppers and jet flows and explosions. It's really smart. It's really kind of cool that they were able to do this, and that it turned out so well. I wonder how long they were working on this.
I'm assuming it's not connected to any of the Rocket League console stuff that you've unlocked.
No.
No.
It's a completely separate entity.
But it is still connected to your Epic Games account. So if you have friends that play Rocket League and have Sideswipe, you don't have to refriend them again. You just log into your Epic Games account. So if you logged on to your Epic Games, logged onto the game, it probably said I was playing Sideswipe, and you could open your phone and say, "Hey, you want to play a game?" Or something.
Yeah, because I was like, "Hey, Gwen, let's play. How do I have to add you?" And it's like, "Well, I should be there already," and he was. So because I play Rocket League. I play Rocket League on
Android now has a way to play Google Play games on your PC, Windows PC.
Not yet.
That's in beta or something right now?
The Google one is currently in development, coming in 2022.
Okay.
The only way to do it on PC currently is with BlueSnacks, which is an Android emulator.
Okay.
Is it on? I imagine Sideswipe's on, and Jarrod downloaded it, so yeah, of course it is. Because Quentin and I have Apple phones, iPhones.
Yep. But you've been playing it as well, Jarrod?
No, I just downloaded it today.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
Yeah, no, the tutorial's super easy, and it takes... one of my favorite parts is, like, bot games are also super easy to get into. You don't really queue. So if you don't even have connection and you just want to play a game, you can just log in, do a bot game, have some fun, leave. Do whatever you're doing. You don't always have to queue in.
Yeah, awesome.
And there goes this. Why does it keep falling?
It's a little flap, and if I bump it, it falls over.
Rocket League.
I was wondering about that. That camera just keeps dumping over.
Yeah.
No, it's super cool, and I mean, I had done the tutorial during the Game Awards, and then I didn't play an actual game, and then I played a game yesterday, and I just destroyed this guy like 5-0, and I was like, "This is awesome!" And then
of course, it feels good to win.
And then I put it away, and then I got in with, and then Quentin and I played like 2-3 games, and I helped the first game pretty well, and then the second 2 games he carried me in one game, and then we lost another. I think is what happened.
Do you find yourself playing it similar to the console one, or are you not?
It's
hanging
totally
out at the
different.
goal?
It's,
So
I mean,
you're not hanging out as a goalie.
Different.
I mean, you can kind of hang out by the goal, but it's a little more random in that aspect.
The map layout is actually different in terms of if you've played actual Rocket League, the goal is on the floor. Sideswipe, it's in the middle of the arena.
Screen.
It's like this circle, and this is the side of the stage. Your goal is right here instead of right here.
Yeah.
Okay, it's in the middle. Yeah.
It kind of it's kind of almost like you're shooting a basketball hoop. So I haven't played basketball, but I imagine the hoops version is kind of interesting then.
Mm-hmm. I would assume that.
It's funny, like the trailers during the Game Awards. I don't remember them even showing gameplay.
They didn't.
I don't think they did.
Yeah, that's one of the most annoying parts about mobile games. Like, there's cool commercials. Look at this cool CG and awesome art, and then you download the game. It's like weird.
No, it looks the game looks lives up to it. It looks great.
Yeah.
I guess that's like any video game trailer, though. Look at this cool CG thing. We're not going to show you gameplay. Sorry.
I think that's just a circumstance of a lot of mobile games, and the only mobile games that I've seen that have like actual gameplay as its trailers are games that are on multiple platforms. So like your Genshin Impacts and stuff like that just like have gameplay that looks good enough to show everywhere. So they just use it.
I'm just, I'm not really a fan of mobile games, and like this one, I was kind of like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. So I know Quentin plays him a lot. He plays it a lot different. So like that's cool that he dug it. But I was just like, I'll try it, and I'm like actually really surprised. I'm probably gonna leave it on my phone and I'll play it once in a while. I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna be like Quentin.
I unironically think out of all the mobile games on my phone, Sideswipe is one of the, like, I can already tell it's one of the easiest to open and just pick up, play, besides something like Hearthstone or like Magic Arena, which are just card games.
I can't do card games. I just can't.
I love card games.
Yeah, he's a look at all the card games he has back there. You can see them.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of card games over here.
I tried Magic the Gathering when I was in high school, and I don't know.
Jarrod, you just got to find the right one. You just got to find the right one, bro.
This is my current addiction.
Final
Fantasy? That is a card game? Like,
of course there is.
Good old TCG, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was that on the top? Who was that?
This is Tella from Pictologica.
Yeah. Tella. That's what I thought. Like, that looks like... Okay.
Yeah,
it's Final Fantasy IV.
That's what Jarrod needs to get into.
Yeah, no, they're sorted by like series, and Pictologica was one of the P-Cross games that had Final Fantasy characters attached to it.
This is the podcast that Quentin needs.
He needs P-Cross.
He needs a collectible card game podcast.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, no, I've got so much bulk over here. Like right over here is a bunch of Magic the Gathering stuff.
Oh yeah, no good.
This entire box right here is Pokemon.
We're losing listeners.
Yeah, he's what he's doing on his other screen over there is selling those Pokemon cards online.
I don't sell. I play and collect.
I think he's watching us on the other screen.
Yeah.
Yes. No. Right here is where I'm watching you guys. Over here, the games that I was going to talk about outside.
Wow, having 2 screens. That sounds nice. What a luxury.
Actually,
so that was
one over here, which is a TV screen, which I use for my consoles.
Oh, he's got a whole like bat cave over there.
Yeah, this is my little cave.
My computer monitors a crappy 720p Walmart budget TV.
That's good.
It sucks. The
This is
contrast
a
is so poor.
this is a budget like Vizio that I used to take to events when I used to go
I'll
to
take a
Friday
Vizio.
before.
That's an
Yeah.
upgrade.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was Rocket League Sideswipe.
We got sideswiped out of our
We got sideswiped.
conversation there.
Boom. No, but great. It's a great mobile game, and
Mhm.
we have that's cool. I guess what we should kind of see is like what kind of games, what other games we been playing. So,
Yeah.
let's see. What else have I been playing? Well, Metal Gear Survive. Something really cool happened in the story that I don't want to spoil, but it was really cool. Jarrod, you should progress in the story because I was not expecting this.
Okay, yeah, I want to.
Is it good? Is it like a Kojima style story?
No, it was just
Yeah,
it was.
He's not connected at all.
It's not. He's
so-
not connected, but it was. No, there's a story beat, and I thought I just wasn't expecting what happened. It's like, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that, and now I'm in that situation. But then I put that down to play Halo. Obviously. Oh, one thing I wanted to say. We keep mentioning the Game Awards, and I wanted to mention it really quick for everyone listening. 50 minutes into the podcast, we did a talk along, kind of a commentary thing with the Game Awards. I didn't put it on the I didn't put it out as a podcast because you wouldn't really get the reference. If you're listening to it, you'd have to sync it to the video. So I just released the video version on YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com/milkmanpictures, you can watch the three of us talk over the Game Awards.
Yeah. If you want to hear him talk about anything, tough crap.
But if you want to hear our
We're really
opinions,
talking too much.
if you want to hear our opinions on shit during the Game Awards, there is that to listen to. So it's kind of a supplemental piece of content at the YouTube page. Anyway, Metal Gear Survive. Jarrod, did you do the Matrix thing?
Yeah, I played a little bit of the Matrix thing. I made it out to the city, but I didn't run around the city too much.
That was pretty cool. I mean, there's that whole Unreal Engine 5 demo. It's the Matrix demo, and it does like a little story mode thing where you shoot out tires in a car, and that all looks really impressive. And then it gives you an open world, and you just kind of get to fuck around in the open world a little bit. There's not a lot of stuff to do. You can drive cars and walk around and fly a drone, but the city looks really impressive. I mean, it's cool. It looks cool.
I've seen some photo modes on Twitter since I don't have a PS5 myself, but it looks stunning. I'm just absolutely floored with how Unreal Engine 5 is shaping up to.
The
it's
cutscene.
impressive. It is.
The cutscene stuff, it just looks so spot on as like them versus in like even Keanu in like my PS5 version of, not my PS4 on PS5 version of Cyberpunk. It looks like Keanu Reeves enough. But like, holy shit, the Unreal Engine thing is like, that is Keanu Reeves. There's like no doubt, denying that rendering of that character is just like 100% that. It's just kind of nuts. So, I wasn't. Some people were saying on Twitter, Matrix game confirmed, but I don't think. And there was an announcement. I don't think there was any announcement that was actually coming. I think this is just. This is strictly.
I don't think so. No.
I think this is just strictly a demo that they were kind of tying into the fact that the Matrix was coming out. But I wouldn't be against a fucking Matrix game. I just feel like if that game's happening, that game's fucking forever away.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
So there was that. Oh, he's drinking some Festivale.
Ooh.
Not a good beer, guys. Don't drink it. No, it's perfectly fine. What else did I play? There was something else I played. No, I think I just downloaded some stuff. I played some Gran Turismo. Oh no, but Jarrod and I did. I don't think we talked about it. Going back to Metal Gear Survive, Jarrod and I did play a mission online.
Yeah, one mission together.
We did play one mission together. We did meet up.
Yeah. And it was fun.
Fight. It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's salvage missions where, I mean, you just earn rewards for helping you in your single player game.
Yeah, so it's basically
I mean,
whatever you do in the multiplayer just helps you in your single player game. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, there's really no point to doing the multiplayer other than just giving yourself a boost in single player. You know, there is no like weird level progression system or anything like that. It's just whatever equipment you have, you can select difficulty once you unlock higher difficulties.
Jarrod,
and
one thing you should do though, you were talking about trying to get into a match in the single in the multiplayer. You should go to that tutorial. There's like one tutorial that's that's a single player only, and that is nuts. I couldn't beat it. I could have tried to beat it, but I played through it once and I got my ass kicked, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this right now. But there's a boss character in that's like, what the fuck is this thing? And it just like destroys you, and it's kind of funny. So you should check it out.
Yeah, I was looking at it tonight, but I saw how close the podcast was. I'm like, I better not risk it, because some of those matches can take a little bit of time.
But
nothing takes a huge amount of time in the game. I mean, like sometimes you can do a mission in like 30 minutes or less is the average, I'd say.
Yeah, when you
even going into the smoke and then doing that and coming back.
Just kind of you do a run to collect materials, and then it's like, I'm out collecting stuff. I'll be right back.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know why the game's so addicting to me. Anyway,
so I bought another new game.
Oh, what'd you buy?
Ooh.
It was on sale for like $11 on the Switch. The Ori and the Will of the Wisps. So I'm very excited to start that this week because I love the first one.
Yes, you played the first one on Game Pass, right?
Switch. It was on Switch.
Oh, you bought it on Switch.
My PC is so underpowered I can't play.
Oh, it didn't
Ori.
run.
I mean,
the second one is crazy power. Is a crazy intensive game. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that they've been recoded, dumbed down a lot to run on the Switch, but it makes me kind of giggle that even the lowest settings that they could even imagine for Ori won't run on my PC, but it will run on the Switch. I mean, I know they're completely different versions, but it's still kind of hilarious that this big old tower with a bunch of shit in it is weaker than my Switch.
Well, probably because it's not really a PC game, so it's not scalable like a PC game would be,
Yeah, that's true, but I would love to play it with better graphics. Like if I ever get an Xbox, I'm totally going to replay both of them because even on the Switch, they're pretty impressive, and like the atmosphere of the games is top notch. Like Metroid needs to learn a lesson from Ori. It does. Like Metroid has it. It has atmosphere. The latest one didn't have as much as it should have because of games that have followed the Metroid path, but have advanced the genre greatly, like tenfold.
This goes back to the Halo things. Like you can't just have a Halo game. You need to look at where the climate is.
Up your game, fellas. Up your game. I mean, look at Ori and build upon what they have set forward, or Hollow Knight. I mean, there's so many games, so many other games that have done this formula, that have set and made these really cool environments that don't just seem like, I don't know, a weird little diorama kind of scenes.
I think that's a good point, Jerry, because like when I played Metroid Dread, and I couldn't get into it. It does feel very safe and very not as, because I've played. Yeah. I mean, I'm Ori, and I mean all these games are not my type of game.
It's
and
almost too clean.
It's just, but there's no atmosphere really to it. It's not.
Yeah, like where's all the crud and junk and stuff hanging from the walls and all that stuff.
It's funny. It's almost like the 8-bit version is more dirty just because it's an 8-bit version, and it adds to the aesthetic better than this clean version of Metroid does. I don't know.
Yeah. It's also like in terms of like controls and new ideas, stuff like that. Those older games, more dated controls, and it feels harder for you to scary.
Yeah.
I think specifically with Ori, because I played a bit. My favorite part of that game is a mechanic. That being the part that you can save anywhere, but it takes a resource. And I think that is such a smart thing for like a Metroid. I'm just so appalled by the game just because of that.
Yeah, yeah. It feels so classic, and it may have slightly newer controls, but they're all borrowed controls from some of their other remakes. Like the Metroid 2 remake was inspiration for Metroid Dread. You know, it's already been done.
With those parries and stuff.
Yeah, with the parry. That's like the biggest introduction, other than the really annoying part that can insta kill you with a quick time event. You know, so
Why did 2D games need QuickTime events?
if they don't, they
Why
do
do
not.
games need
I don't
QuickTime
know
events?
why
Good point.
so many people accepted Metroid Prime as such a primo top 10 game of the year. I mean, it as far as all the new games I played this year, yes, it is higher on the list, but like Ori, it is different because it's mostly about platforming, whereas Metroid
Right.
is a lot about battles and stuff like that to some degree, and having, you know, your small selection of weapons. But Ori is like super, like you really have to know how your character moves, like greatly, like way enhanced. It's almost like a different level. Like all these companies used one title as inspiration and really just destroyed the whole market with it. And the one that they were inspired by just can't follow.
Yeah.
Like
That happens.
If Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Metroid Dread came out at the same year,
Oh yeah, no question.
I don't think Metroid Dread would have been on the mark at all.
Probably not.
I
No.
don't. I do not. One bit. Other than the Switch army, you know, there's a gajillion people that are like, you know, part of this army that are defending the fucking console like wholeheartedly. But yeah, it
Will o'
just
the Wisp
needs,
wasn't
it needs
also,
some help.
but Will o' the Wisp wasn't that's not a full retail price game either, was it?
I don't think either of them have been. They're
I think they were both $30 games.
Yeah.
See, that's
For-
like that's crazy bullshit, man.
yeah,
Nintendo's just like fucking. This is like no fucks. They're just like, yeah, suck it.
yeah.
I think
So
I think the craziest part is the quality because it's also a Microsoft title in terms of funding. That it's able to experiment with all this money and it looks so nice.
But that's like saying Nintendo doesn't make no fucking money and they can't experiment, man.
they make
what
too
the
much
fuck?
money.
They make so
and
much
they're
money,
Too safe. Yeah, they're
Profit.
too safe.
dude. They put out what 2 Genesis games and 2 64 games and like 2 controllers for $20 each, and then a $30 expansion pass. Like, and
a
how
theme
many
park.
fucking people are doing that right now? Like, Nintendo is making money hand over fist. Like, they're afraid it's going to go away. Like, those guys, I don't know. They could. Those guys could be so much more creative. They just have no interest in it.
Mm-hmm.
I fear that Metroid Prime 4 is not going to get the budget they need, and it's just going to end up a sorry, sad case.
I don't think it's coming out for this Switch. I mean, it probably is going to get pushed, hopefully, to the Switch Pro.
It'll be one of those things that they always do. It's like, oh, it's being made for the Switch, but it's coming out for our new console.
It's
and
Breath of the Wild.
Switch.
Oh no, it's Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the
Oh, the
Wild.
Wii U version and the Switch version. Yeah, just like that. That's what Metroid Prime 4 is going to be.
Maybe. I
That
feel
is
like
Nintendo's favorite thing to do. Twilight. Well, did Twilight Princess? Yeah, again, that came out
Twilight
on
Princess with both
GameCube.
consoles. It was on GameCube and Wii. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're very known to release the lesser version. Well, the version they were working on is still on the old console, but then just release, you know, a slightly okayer version on the next version. You know, it's their, that's what they do. So we'll see. We'll see.
we'll see. Quentin, what have you been playing? You have anything else exciting other than Final Fantasy?
What do you mean?
What else you been playing?
Besides Final Fantasy 11, I played since Arc System Works released the rollback beta for BlazBlue Central Fiction. I've been playing that, and it's made me happy, and it's also a little disappointed. Specifically in the fact that the netcode is good. but it's based on the host.
Oh,
And I don't have good internet. I have 1.2 megabyte down as my average,
oh, damn.
and my upload is not much better. And so when I host on BlazBlue
Yeah.
It's
Central
trash.
Fiction, it's
Okay.
garbage. But when I play, like I played one of my friends from Missouri, completely perfect. It was like I was playing offline. It's all based on the host, and that is, it worries me because I feel like that would prevent the game from getting this new market and like new people to try out one of my favorite fighting games of.
Yeah, so I mean, it seems like the new netcode is fantastic, but but you don't get to choose whether you're hosting or not,
You
right?
do.
You do.
You do because you make the room. If you
Oh,
make the room,
okay.
you're hosting, and you're
So
hosting for not only everyone in the game, but every spectator as well.
so you pretty much do everybody a favor by not hosting.
Yes, that we were literally trying to split
Yeah.
with. Let me make the room.
Yeah,
We played a
but
game.
even
Can you make the room?
yeah, but even then, like you have to have at least a mediocre upload speed to get those commands back to them. You
Mhm.
have to transmit a lot of data just fighting.
Well,
So I mean that's
rollback
got to be
netcode does a
tough.
lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah,
So uh, it's fantastic, and I'm so glad that they're going back to products and adding.
yeah,
And I'm hoping that like games like Dragon and the Persona 4 Ultimax that's just announced at the Game Awards. I hope that has rollback on release. That is good because
yeah.
that is one of my other favorite.
That just has to be something these companies have learned over time. Like it's obvious that the netcode should be the most important thing for online play instead of trying these newer weird things that
Well,
haven't been working for years.
it's also how long do they keep that going though too? I mean, how long?
Uh,
You know.
it's it's mostly fear of other tools, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of fighting games come from Japan specifically, and if there's one thing about Japan, it's that it's a little less than Korea, but more interconnected because it's a lot of a smaller space. You can get away with worse netcode if everyone's close to each other. But when
I
you release a game internationally in some place like the United States, when someone's going to be playing from Washington to Florida,
yeah.
you need good netcode.
So you just made me think like I can't name one fighting game from the United States.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat,
Oh, yes,
Injustice,
okay. Never realm.
NRS, NetherRealm Studios is
Yeah. That's the only one.
the only mainstream.
Successful.
Yeah. Oh,
If you want
yeah.
to talk about indie games, we can talk about
Yeah,
Skullgirls.
like
Skullgirls has wonderful netcode.
they just released like a new character, I think. Yeah,
They're
like they have a new
going
big
for a
old
new
pack
season
coming out.
pass. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I have it. It's really fun. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite games.
I like the trailers. I might pick that up someday. The
It's a good game.
Skullgirls. Yeah. Okay.
But that
Fighting
is like
games.
that's literally NetherRealm is literally the only kind of outside of
Mainstream AAA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mainstream. But like there's
Um,
Brawlhalla and stuff like that. Those are
those are
probably
indie
United
titles.
States. Yeah, indie stuff.
well,
Yeah,
Brawlhalla
that
is
kind
a
of
free to
stuff.
play Ubisoft game,
It wasn't
Brawlhalla.
originally Ubisoft.
Yeah, they
The
bought
company was
that.
bought by Ubisoft.
right? But I
Uh,
mean, they have all this licensed property now. I mean, they've gotten
yeah,
pretty.
because they got Ubisoft money.
Yeah.
Essentially. But yeah, no, it's good. I'm so glad that I get to play more Carl Clover in the year 2021. It's one of my favorite fighting game characters of all time.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, no, it's so nice to see all these old games get the love that I feel like they deserved and the love that they
Well, they're still used in tournaments and stuff like that. So I mean,
offline most
it's
of the time now.
important to have the information going back and forth properly. It's important to have any delay just kicked back.
Blake,
It's wild.
Blaze Blue specifically was relatively dead because a game from 2017.
Hmm.
So the a lot of the people who are playing it moved on to things like Guilty Gear Xrd 2 and your like Guilty Gear Strives, Melting
Blaze
Blood
Blue was so
Lumina.
good though.
It's my favorite out of the Arc System Work stuff, but that might change.
I think
What?
I had Blaze Blue Xrd Sign.
No, that's Guilty Gear.
Or that's Guilty
That's
Gear?
Blaze
think
Blue,
I had that
you
one
had
too.
360, I think.
Yeah, I had the first Blaze Blue game then.
Mhm.
Strong. Yeah, I don't remember what it was called.
It would have been Blaze Blue, Calamity
Yeah.
Calamity
Yeah,
Trigger.
that's right. That's it. And it came with like the soundtrack or something like that. It was super
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, the music in that game was so good.
It's done by the same people who
That what?
Guilty Gear music. They do the. It's
Oh,
the same
okay.
artist. It's the same composer.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, man, awesome.
Oh god.
PS2 Guilty Gear. Oh, is that the
That's
two?
This is the
Yeah.
crazy 2-playing one.
Two.
Yeah,
So you can
they
play
need
like
to bring that
4-player on
back.
this. It's so awesome. It's
Yeah.
it's
Foreground and
awful but
background, that
awesome.
was awesome.
Awfully awesome.
It's awfully awesome.
Yeah, it's wonderfully disturbing. Yeah.
Plus, it has a brawler mode where you just go around and beat up people. It's also cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, that mode specifically, it reminded me of from Iska's Guilty Gear Iska's brawler mode reminds me of Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, which has a story mode that is just a beat 'em up using fighting game mechanics.
Did you
There's a
ever
Tekken
play?
that had that too.
Did you ever play the Square game Tobal #1?
I have played Tobal over netplay.
Oh, I loved that game so much. I wish that series continued. Like a Square fighting game was that game was so rad.
Square had Tobal and Air Guys, and that was about it.
I liked her guys.
Mhm.
That was fun. And Einhander, like they were actually trying some experimental shit back in the day. And they did some really cool stuff. Now they're just being kind of safe with RPGs. It's like, this is what we know, this is what we're doing, but have fun.
What are you talking about? They did Avengers. They did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's that one studio they bought.
That's 2
Where was
studios.
that? Yeah.
Square.
Because it's
Square did
EDS
The
Montreal
Canadian one.
and it's
Yeah.
Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Canadian. Isn't Crystal Dynamics in Canada too?
I don't know where that is.
I think
Yeah,
so.
I think that's in Canada. Yeah, both of their Canadian studios are the ones that do non like Final Fantasy RPG.
Well,
kind
yeah,
of
they
stuff.
got to like make some money over here.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
did hire a team that.
Well, they're doing that
does-
Platinum game too.
Mhm. But they did hire a team as like their main source of thing, and they collaborated with their mobile game property Million, and that's a fighting game from Square Enix.
Okay.
And Million
Huh.
and Arthur has very bad netcode.
Oh no. That's
It's got some really cool designs and a really interesting system, but yeah, no, Million Arthur, you can't really play it online.
Blaine, anything else than Quentin? Blaze Blue,
Blaze Blue.
and then what's next?
I started up Kurtzbell for the first time.
Kurtz?
Interesting MMO. It's an action MMO from Korea, made by COG Games. It's the character customization is. It plays a little bit like PSO. The focus of PSO2 was not PvP, but PvP, and it's a little clunkier than PSO. But it's interesting, and I like the class switching aspect of it. Being able to switch from a greatsword to a giant bow is really always fun. It's a little slow to unlock all the classes.
What
but-
year is it?
Let me check.
Like how
It's-
recent is it?
It is 2019,
Oh, that's not okay.
and it's still getting content today. Like December 10th, they released a new class.
And that's on Steam.
This is on Steam.
I'll have to check it out.
It's an anime and
Never mind.
anime.
Ian's out. Out.
It's an anime style Korean action MMORPG with
Oh, big
its focus
titties?
on PvP. Yes,
Okay, never mind. I'm back in.
big titties.
Shit, dude.
Big tit. There's a slider for tits and butts.
Okay.
Oh man.
And then it was
That's the
really fun.
content. That's the content our listeners crave.
Yeah.
I played.
Yeah,
I played a
Skyrim
bunch of
mods, baby.
PvP. I played a bunch of PvP, and that was really fun. But it feels a little imbalanced. And for someone like me who's played a lot of MMOs, action, tab target, menu, or otherwise, I just feel like I sort of have a little bit of... But some people who buy their gear, which is a thing you can do, is also kind of an issue, and I can already tell that's going to be a problem if I keep playing. But the PvE
Kurtzbell?
is also fun. Kurtzbell, Kurtzpel.
Oh, it's free to play.
Yep.
You're in.
I'm in.
Go. Yeah. Downloading.
The reviews are mixed.
Yes, for me, I would put it as for an action MMO. a 6 or a 7.
Oh wow,
A big question mark.
Big question mark. I'm going to pass. I think.
It's
How's The Witcher
okay.
2 going, Quentin?
The Witcher 2 is also going pretty well. Nothing more to report. For Witcher 2, it's good.
It's good. It's a good game.
And then besides that, I started Albion Online.
Oh, really?
Which is a top-down MMO.
Yes, I heard
that
of this
you can
one.
play on and almost everything. You can play it on your phone, you can play it on the PC, and you can take it with you wherever you go. And the main thing about Albion that makes it different from a lot of other games is outside of your tutorial, everything is player owned. So everything in the market due to like shops and all that is players.
NFT.
No NPCs. It is not NFT. I'm so glad it is not NFT.
Just a side note: did any of you catch that little interview where Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are being interviewed, and this interviewer guy's talking about NFTs?
No,
and then he's like talking to him, and then Keanu's Keanu's like no fool, being like, yeah, until someone just like copies it and then starts laughing. Because this guy's talking about the importance of NFTs in the digital world, like trying to be edgy and stuff, and then Keanu just like, kind of shoots him down, and it's just kind of really funny. And it's just like, anyway, I'll try and find it and post it. Anyway, Albion.
Yeah,
it's good though. Why do you want to get into this?
When I want to get into this, it's something that I could play while I was on the toilet. Plain and simple.
Not Rocket League. No, I'm not gonna play some Rocket League. I'm gonna play this.
No, I play Rocket League.
You're on the toilet a long time.
Well, I'm in the bed. When I'm in the bed, yeah. When I'm in the bed, I'm playing Rocket League.
But when you're taking a shit, you're playing Albion.
Albion, yes.
Okay. I need a bed game. I need a shitting game. Got it. Okay.
My shitting game used to be Final Fantasy Brave Exvius.
My shitting game is Stank.
All right, boys.
But, Jarrod, what else you got?
Okay, children.
Jarrod, you got anything else?
Okay, children. No. I mean, other than just playing random games with my daughters, I mean, I'm working on like the last 900 points of my Rayman Platinum. So that's
slow grind.
Yeah, slow grind. Tomorrow I'll have 40 more points out of that. So slow grind, and then that's the weeklies, and hopefully I can get golds in the weeklies again, and every day if I can get another 10 points on each of the dailies, that's
10 points. Jesus.
Gonna slow. Yeah. Well, I can't get the top tier trophy. That gives you 50 points, and I can't do that. There's absolutely no way. I earned the 11 I have through gameplay, because you had to, to beat all the levels. So that's enough Rayman. I'm still having a lot of fun, and I'm still seeing new things after all this time. I'm still seeing new stuff in these levels.
I haven't.
Effing wild. Like, I don't know how the hell they do it. It's crazy.
I haven't played anything else new, but I have installed two things. On PlayStation Now, they shared a bunch of new games to PlayStation Now. I didn't install Grand Theft Auto 3. The definitive version is on there, so I could give that a try. I might do it just to report back, but I didn't install it. But this month was John Wick Hex. The strategy game, the turn-based strategy game.
Switch, or didn't you play that?
No, I didn't play it, but it's free on PlayStation Now. It came up, and so I was like, I installed that, so I'm gonna try that. So I'll report back next week, and then because of the Game Awards and the announcement from Monolith of the Wonder Woman game, I figured I would go back and finish Shadow of War. Since I finished, obviously I beat Shadow of Mordor, but then I never completed Shadow of War, so I thought I'd go back, reinstall it, and finish that game. So those are two old games I'll be playing and report back on next week. Do we even have new games next week? What do we have? I mean, Jarrod can talk more about Riders probably, but...
Yeah, Riders and Ori. I mean, Ori is almost 2 years old now.
Almost 2 years, but I don't think I have anything. I don't think after Halo, I don't think I'll have anything.
I don't know. You have Xbox Game Pass and you have a PC where you can play a lot of stuff. So I mean, what's coming out that you're gonna try?
I don't think there's anything else on there. I mean, I have old games I'm gonna play. I started Outriders and Scarlet Nexus.
Ooh, what did you think of Scarlet Nexus? Played that demo.
It's all right. It's got this kind of I mean, minus the combat system, it just feels like Astral Chain.
Hmm.
I really didn't like the feel of Astral Chain.
I thought Astral Chain had more tech to it, and I feel like Scarlet is too simple for me.
Really,
Yeah.
with all the kind of like magic push and pull and throw and
For me, it feels like a mix of like a simplified Kingdom Hearts mixed with
dude, it's nothing like Kingdom Hearts.
Psyops.
Let's pull
geez,
Kingdom
way
Hearts
back,
and
way back then.
let's go way back to
Psyops
PS2. Okay.
So
Okay.
Quentin, should we start making bets on when we think Ian will install his first mods for Cyberpunk on PC?
Ooh,
I still haven't bought the game yet, though. So.
I know.
Oh, you can make bets.
Next year, it's totally happening. Should we make bets?
Well, you guys can do what you want
Or
to
is
do.
it too early for that?
I expect at most a month.
At most
Yeah,
a month.
I think it'll.
I haven't even bought it yet.
Yeah, I know, but it's
A month
it's
after
gonna.
you buy. A month
I
after you
think
buy. At most.
After the new year, it's going to be on a really big sale, and PC copy is going to be very obtainable.
Well,
So I think no later than March.
So Quentin, you're wrong on that because I've already beaten Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh no.
So I have
you're
it.
just
I have it
not
on.
buying it.
I bought it. I bought the PS4, PS5 thing. So I played on PS5 and beat it. And I'm like, it's a game that needs to be modded. So as soon as it's cheap enough for me to buy again, the modding is happening day and date.
Day one, yeah. And you were talking about games for next week. I don't have anything for next week, but I'm looking forward to DNF Duel, which is a fighting game done by the people who did Marvel vs. Capcom.
I'm sure we'll play other things and we'll be like, what the fuck? I'm sure I'll download some other random game I've not talked about and just play randomly and be like, oh, this is what I was playing this week. Well, let's do some couch co-optionals then, and then get out of here. You guys got anything you want to recommend to the people that listen? Like, hey, this is a really cool thing. You should check it out. Couch co-optional. Who wants to go first? Jarrod does. What do you got, Jarrod?
Well, I have this Honeywell heater sitting next to me in my garage that's making me not shiver while recording this podcast. I would recommend putting a heater in your garage. This is fantastic.
That's okay. Sure.
Honeywell.
Yeah, this thing's great. It's quiet as hell, and
Bimart?
now it's up to 50 degrees in here, so
Fred
it's
Meyers,
like a t-shirt
Walmart?
weather. Yeah,
Would you happen to have a sponsor link?
yeah, if only. Yeah, a sponsor for this podcast. Come on,
Honeywell, come on, Honeywell.
Yeah.
In fact, I use a Honeywell air purifier, so they make good product.
Yeah.
Is
This
that
heater, I've had this heater for
An air
years
purifier.
and years and years. It's been holding strong, and it's still doing it. Good job. I'm very comfortable, and I don't know why I didn't think of this last year.
Honeywell. Toasty
Honeywell.
nuts to keep your nuts
Yes.
toasty.
Well, I mean, I do have an office chair that has material that breathes.
Ooh, okay.
Do you have anything more of substance that you would like to share, Jarrod?
Well, I'm still watching the same shows, Hawkeye and The Wheel of Time. That's my Wednesday and Friday shows.
Okay.
That's about all
Nothing
I watch.
new.
I did start watching a little bit of more of The Expanse season 2 because the new season is out, and I would love
It's
to.
only 6 episodes.
Yeah, well, I still have like many, many more episodes to catch up on since I'm only on like episode 3 of season 2. So that's all from me. I haven't watched anything else. It's been too hectic, and I'd rather play games at night than watch shows.
All right, Quinn, what do you got?
For me, I started a trial of the Tyrion channel, which is like this film, very, very classic style of like film collection. It's really interesting, like their selection, and I'm really intrigued by what they got.
They take the masterpieces of the age, and then they kind of remaster them and give you a lot of extras.
They also, with interviews, plenty of other things, and a lot of their like newer stuff or like stuff that premiered on there is also interesting. So I highly recommend that.
Do you think you're going to keep going past the free trial?
I might.
You might.
I might.
You might.
Mhm.
I know you reached out to me and asked me about it. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Like
there
you was like
Jackie
you as a
Chan and
you as a
Hitchcock
film guru. Would you consider? I was like, fucking Crichton. Fuck those guys. Those are fucking film snobs, man. No. No, I mean if you're a lover of films, it's a good thing. No, very cool.
And besides that, the Cowboy Bebop anime, watch that. Just don't watch the live action.
People like the live action though.
Which that's already been canceled.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was quick.
A lot of people liked
very
it.
fast response time.
I'm not a big fan of it.
Some people are though.
Yeah.
Watch the original show.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna watch the original show because I don't watch
anime live action movies,
You're
and
missing out.
Avatar was really bad. Ghost in the Shell I haven't watched yet.
Oh, I love Ghost in the Shell. I mean, it's not as good as the cartoon, but I mean, Ghost in the Shell's good.
Wait, that's an anime. It's not a cartoon.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
cartoon.
you watched anime.
Cowboy Bebop is anime.
It's a cartoon.
Cowboy Bebop's anime is Ghost
No,
in the
there's
Shell's
live
anime.
action and there's cartoons.
Yeah. There's cartoons. Where did we?
Hey,
turn?
listen.
What happened?
Hey, here's the other thing. Here's the other Quentin. It's not like Sin City is based off a graphic novel. Sin City's a fucking comic book. So like,
Yes.
fuck that shit. Like,
Which
It's-
eventually became after the collection was done.
yeah, but it's a collection. It's a trade
Yeah,
paperback.
of
But it was
course, that's
never
like
originally.
most of them, yeah.
It was never like Blankets.
Yeah.
Blankets was no the
Isn't
graphic
that
novel
most of them
Blankets
that say
was
they're from a.
but really Blankets. What is Blankets? I mean, yes, it was published as a graphic novel. What is Blankets? It's a fucking comic book. So,
Yeah.
speaking of comic books, I'm going to recommend, and it's backwards here. X-Men Legends is a comic book currently being published by Marvel Comics, and the cool thing about X-Men Legends is it goes back to my favorite period of time of the X-Men, back in the 90s, and they write stories that fill in between the stories that you loved. So like all that classic old X-Men shit, like kind of like the X-Men cartoon, all that shit back in the day that was happening in Uncanny and X-Men. Yeah, we get new stories from the original writers and arts teams too. So it's just like, hey, this feels like home and it feels like fun and it's new content, but it's old, but it's good. It's better and I like it. So I'm an old man and I like my old shit and I'm glad X-Men Legends exists. It's the only comic book I'm currently current on. Like, surprisingly. Everything
Not
else...
Even some Wolverine stuff, huh?
Nah, dude, check this shit out.
Okay.
No, hold on a second.
And Ian has disappeared from his desk and is
Oh,
hunting
no.
through his collection.
Oh,
All I can see is
And
his
the camera.
ass.
This is the stack of Wolverine I have not read.
Jeez, man.
Wow.
Like 50, well, like 20 comics there.
Jeez. Are those all seals?
geez.
No, you said you brought them.
That's many, many months of
They're open
Wolverine.
still. Yes. It's basically from the beginning of the new Wolverine run. I haven't.
I see number 1 there.
Yeah, I haven't even started.
Oh, it doesn't even have a subtitle. It's just Wolverine.
Yes, it's just
Number
the
1.
proper Wolverine title.
Huh. That's when did that series start? Just to be called Wolverine now.
No, Wolverine's always had his own comic, just called Wolverine.
Yeah, but number 1. I saw number 1 there.
Well, they
That's more
renumbered it.
recent.
They renumbered it. They like stopped Wolverine, whatever the last
a
number
reboot.
was, Wolverine, let's say 37, and then they rebooted it as Wolverine 1.
So which company does that more often? How often does DC reboot versus Marvel?
Oh my
Because DC, I
God.
swear, like every 2 years, DC reboots their freaking universe. It's crazy.
They both do it very often. It's just
Yeah.
how they just reboot shit.
Last time I was into comics was the New 52.
One thing DC does that's interesting is that they'll reboot a comic, let's say like Batman, or we'll just say Batman, and it'll be a new Batman number 1, but it'll have it'll still have classic. It's not called classic numbering. It's called it's something numbering.
Huh.
But it'll have what it would be within the original. So it'll be like 973. You know,
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. But the only reason I want to bring up this comic book shit is that it looks like Matt Dean and I are going to rekindle the comic book podcast. So
Awesome.
that might be
nice.
coming back. So
Oh, listen. I hear Matt's voice.
the Milkman and Reverend show might be coming back. And so stay tuned for all you people that don't care about that. Anyway.
All right, your one listener knows now.
Yeah. And that's the tease. All right, we can get out of here. Let's get out of here.
All right.
It's late. Gotta go
this
to
is a
work
long
tomorrow.
episode
Jared's
compared
gonna
to usual.
a little hour and a half
I might have
action.
another beer. You know, I don't have to work on Mondays.
No,
I
you
love
don't.
it.
I don't really.
I
I mean,
have
I don't
I
really
have to get my daughter up for school. So
I don't
mean,
really
there's
have to work
the-
on Mondays. I mean,
Yeah, just don't tell your boss.
as long as he doesn't listen to this, he doesn't know.
All right,
All right, let's get out of here.
Let's get that going.
I want to thank you all for listening and remind you that you can leave feedback at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. Remember to please subscribe and share this wonderful podcast on iTunes, Spotify. Oh, hey, I wanted to mention the Spotify thing. So Spotify, I do this thing. You only can get it on Spotify. Because of Anchor.fm, they're tied in with Spotify, like the same company. I on the Spotify app, you can see questions and polls that I just randomly post. So within the Anchor.fm site, I'll make up a question or a poll, and then when I post it to Spotify, it'll be there, and then you can. So like last week, I did fishing mini games, yes or no.
Did anybody respond?
Just me, because no one knows this exists. No one knows this
didn't-
exists.
Well, I don't use Spotify because I don't subscribe.
No, I get it.
And I don't
You don't
want-
have to
I don't want
subscribe
commercials.
for podcasts. You don't really have to worry about it.
But-
Podcasts,
but
I don't
there's
think-
commercials in the middle of them,
well,
right?
that's what helps us get money. No, we don't get money, but
No, we don't get anything.
but that's what helps keeps Anchor.fm free. Anyway, there are polls. I usually let them run for about a week. I don't know what I'll post this week. I'll think of something funny to post this week. But anyway, there is that happens. So if you like iTunes, stay on iTunes. If you're like Jarrod, who likes Amazon or Google, I don't know which one you use. He likes that. And then you can go to Spotify if you want a little extra salt and pepper. Anyway, I want to thank Jarrod and Quentin for joining me here on the couch. Thanks, guys.
Anytime.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I think at this point, this is Quentin's 500th show. We should just invite him permanently back. So Quentin, you're just a part of the crew now, I think.
Cool.
I assume so, yeah.
So welcome. And
Thank you.
what do I say was the last part?
Uh,
Oh,
Be
thanks for
excellent to each
joining
other.
me here on the couch for Couch Co-op. I'm Ian, reminding you to please be excellent to each other. Play the outro.